All right, everybody, welcome back to another week of Ripps Wrestling Roundup. Dr. Ripps, Professor Chewie here for another action-packed episode. We were not here last week, so we're going to do a quick Battleground overview, just so everybody can get caught up on the absolute travesty that was Battleground. And then we'll get you caught up on Raw and SmackDown, what to expect this week, next week, the week after that, SummerSlam, WrestleMania 2023.
The World Cup.
The World Cup, yes. Coming. The Olympics are going to be in LA in 2028, I hear. It's fantastic stuff. All right, so Battleground. Nothing spectacular in this entire pay-per-view. The highlight might have been the Tag Team Championship match. But started out with Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English. And English wins.
Yeah, that was surprising. A little bit.
Maybe they're going to give him a little bit of burn here. Who knows? Either way, we'll see what happens with Aiden English. We talk about it all the time. Liking the gimmick. Could use something. Maybe a tan. Maybe some steak. Either way, though.
Top hat. That's
a top hat. Hey, listen.
A top hat.
Like you always say, he should be like a Bill the Butcher type.
Bill the Butcher.
Billy the Butch.
That sings. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good character, and maybe they're going to do something with him. Maybe have a meaningful feud.
Give a shave, you know.
He should shave. Ty Dillinger's got those lines in his hair. He's got it going on over there. So we do have new tag team champions on SmackDown. The New Day beat the Usos. What did you think about that?
Actually, I mean, it was a great match, but I was a little surprised that the Usos didn't hang on to the title. Didn't we both pick the Usos?
I believe we did.
Yeah.
If we go back into our predictions,
back in time,
we both did pick the Usos to continue. Actually, you picked both teams, if I remember correctly.
So I had won. So
you did win.
Half won.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, I didn't understand why maybe they put the belts on the New Day at this point.
They're going back to jail, I guess. Back to the penitentiary?
Day one-ish, man.
They just worked at a pen factory that called the penitentiary.
The penitentiary?
The penitentiary.
Yeah. But nevertheless, I'm not sure where this is going, but the Usos are not the tag champs anymore. They're giving the New Day, maybe they'll have another 400-something day run. I don't think the New Day needed the titles.
Not really.
The Usos were doing well with it, but it is what it is. The Usos are no longer the champs. The New Day is, so we'll see what happened on SmackDown with that last week. Usi. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin. Got corn on the brain. Saw them last week in Hartford. So there was a low blow to Shin, and then Corbin gets disqualified.
He put the end of balls on him.
He hits the end of days. End of bag on him. But what did you think of this? So extending the feud, Corbin ends up hitting him in the ball bag and getting disqualified. What did you think of the out in that one, the finish in that one?
It was a little bit of a cheap shot, but
a little bit.
The big cheap shot.
Yeah,
should have double punched him in the balls. I don't know. It didn't go down the way I thought, but cool enough. I mean, right. Corbin wins by disqualification, but Shinsuke's going to have another go at him. So
he does. He does get another go at him. And we'll talk about that. Women's 5-way elimination match. A lot of speculation. Who would be the one to face Naomi at SummerSlam?
We were both wrong.
We were both wrong.
Very wrong.
Yes, I believe I picked Charlotte.
I picked Lynch and you picked Charlotte.
And yes, so we were both wrong. As Natalya, who is very deserving of the title shot, gets the win and clean over Charlotte at the end, and will be going to face Naomi at SummerSlam. What do you think of Natalya versus Naomi?
I thought that maybe she could have snapped back into her old farting character and just cleared the ring with a fart. And then, it could have been over like that.
That's my gimmick. She stole it. Nonetheless, Natalya and Naomi, that should be a good match at SummerSlam, so we'll see what they do with the rest of the girls.
The Queen of Farts.
Yeah,
the Queen of Hearts.
The Queen of Farts.
Hearts.
We'll see what they do with the rest of the women. Rumored match at SummerSlam with Becky, but the rest of them, who knows what they're going to do. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. Championship. So KO throws AJ into the ref, gets the win. Gets a controversial win as AJ is giving him the calf crusher. He kind of rolls him over. AJ has his arm up But nonetheless, the ref counts to 3. New U.S. champion. What did you think of the flip-flop of the belt on this one?
Flip-flop. Did he throw the ref at him? I'm trying to remember what exactly happened.
No, he had the calf crusher on him.
He picked up the ref.
He picked up the ref and literally put him on. No, he had the calf crusher on him. And he rolled him over as he had the calf crusher in, and AJ's arm was up, but the ref didn't see it, counted to 3.
Oh, man.
So that was how that one finished.
Another flip-flop. Yeah, I'm a little surprised at the flip-flop again, which will play into the...
SmackDown? Yes.
Flip-flop.
Wasn't understanding of it either. Read all these articles about why they put the belt on AJ at a house show. Basically, the decision was because Vince kind of wants to shake things up at house shows a little bit, make it a surprise.
That makes sense.
Yeah, well, I guess but then you have a title change again, and then who knows what happened on SmackDown.
By the way, the flip-flop is also a type of shoe.
My favorite type of shoe.
That's right. I'm wearing them right now.
Something. Cena versus Rusev in a flag match, as predictable as possible.
Yeah.
Were they going to make Cena lose to a Bulgarian in a flag match?
Oh, no, never.
No.
Never.
No, nothing special here in this match.
I'm thinking the only thing at this point... Hold on. What are you saying, I'm boring?
Rusev. No, you know what, it's just, I don't think this was the best feud.
Yeah.
Can't even call it a feud. It was a one-off.
Like instant feud.
Yeah, it was like trying to create, a gimmick match out of nowhere with nothing. I mean, both of these guys have been off TV. All of a sudden, you put them together. You make Rusev lose already. And they're not going to keep this feud going because he's going to be feuding. Cena was going to be feuding with Ginger. So, I don't know. I'm a little surprised at the fact that they had this mini thing anyway, and then a stipulation match right away. But I guess making Cena the American hero before he takes on Jinder, very predictable, nothing special at all. What do you think?
Actually, the only thing that could make Cena more American right now is if he came in the ring with like a big eagle, a bald eagle on his.
It's like a real one.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, eating apple pie and a hot dog. Yeah.
Actually, I would like that.
Why not?
Come in the ring with a pie.
Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis. Again, nothing special here. Zayn gets the win with a hell of a kick.
Hell of a kick, which, what bothers me is that I know it's a hell of a kick, but they pronounce it haluva kick.
Haluva, yeah.
Which is very
really
wrong,
stupid.
right?
Yeah, haluva. That's like a brand of Jewish, candy. Haluva.
Haluva? It's also a dip, right? A hell of a good dip.
Yeah.
Hell of a good kick.
Yeah, hell of a kick.
There's a crossover there.
There's a problem I have with this is that, again... Again, why are you going to make... This guy is brand new. They just had him beat, with the help of his wife, beat Zayn last week. So then you put him on pay-per-view to lose again. So now, it's just like, already the guy's lost to Zayn. There's no build-up. There's nothing to this feud other than the fact they've run into each other a few times backstage, and then out of nowhere he hit him with a vase over the head. I mean...
A vase.
A vase. I
like that.
Either way, just another reason not to be into a match. No incentive there. You leave all these guys off of a pay-per-view. Even Chad Gable, Dolph Ziggler. How about that right there? Gable versus Ziggler. Put them in a feud together and let them go. I mean,
Rock and Roll Olympia.
They're just not doing anybody right here. And I feel like unless there's maybe like one or two storylines that may be going on that we'll talk about, really feel like everything is really crappy right now. The main event was Jinder versus Randy Orton in a Punjabi prison match. And that alone should tell you how the writing sucks. Again, doing wrong by Jinder. Yes, he won, and he's still the champion, which was expected. He has not won one match without the help of somebody else.
Yeah. So now he has what? His Singh brothers plus.
Now he's in the great. So now Orton is poised to win a match that he's not Punjabi. He's poised to win, and what happens? The Great Khali comes out, shakes the cage, and somehow Orton flips over the cage back onto the wrong side, and then starts coming down to get choked by Khali. Now, I'm looking at this structure, okay, and my fat ass could fit through the bars and just sneak through and hit the floor. These guys are trying to climb over the top of it. Yeah. He's getting choked through it, and then Jinder climbs over and wins. Now, Jinder, they need to build this guy up. Let him win. I mean, he's fought Orton 3 times now. Every single time when he won the belt in the 2 title defenses, he has not won clean or even by himself cheating. It's always somebody else interfering and causing him to win. So, I mean, you're not going to get a lot of momentum for the guy if he just keep. Now, what can you do? Can he beat Cena clean and believable? I don't know, but I mean, what would it do for him if he could?
That'd be pretty awesome, man.
You know, and rather than have the Singh brothers or Great Khali interfere and make him keep winning, I mean, it's just chicken shit stuff. Like, yes, will it give you heat? Yes, but he doesn't need that. He can get heat on his own.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's crazy. Like, if you looked really closely, when the Great Khali came out and was helping him, you could actually see in the background the ghost of Gandhi going like, no.
Stupid. Stupid.
And I feel like if the Viper had maybe a panda bear with him, he could have chewed his way
through the bamboo.
Through the bamboo, if he had thought ahead of time.
I was reading something smart that Sean Waltman, X-Pac, said. And it's basically like these guys are beating the hell out of each other and they're throwing each other into the structure as hard as possible. It's not making a sound. If you mic'd it up a little bit better or you put something in there to make a sound, it would be more believable. These guys are going to have to kill each other to make a sound.
Somebody groaning.
Like, add in sound effects at the end. But and Orton agreed with him. I'm not sure when the next time you'll see this this match will be. I hope never. But nonetheless, so that was Battleground, and then led right into going into Raw Monday night. Started off with Kurt Angle coming out, talking about the Jason Jordan thing, and then the number one contendership for Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship. So what happens? Who comes out? Raw! Now, by the way, they have a T-shirt that just says Raw.
Does it go around the back, though?
No, it doesn't wrap around. It's just on the front. That's a great idea, though, by the way.
Or if you could, push it, there's a sound bite in it somewhere.
Raw! Yeah, that's the best.
When I strike myself in the chest and give myself a heart attack, it says Braun.
So, basically, Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns come out, and they all have a schmooze fest. Who should be the number one contender? Who should be not? It turns into a brawl. The entire locker room comes out, hold them back. But basically, Angle announces that it's going to be a four-way match for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. It will be Reigns versus Lesnar versus Joe versus Braun. What do you think about that?
I think that Joe is actually so believable on the mic when he gets angry that I'm wondering if he thinks this is real. He's so good at it.
Joe is, even losing to Lesnar, the fact that he's in the feud and was believable and has done what he's done has really elevated him to another level.
He's like an authentic scary.
He is. He's awesome, and he's only going to get better as he gets more comfortable and has some more matches under his belt. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of belt, the Ripps Championship here. Put it right on the shoulder.
Tape it to your shoulder.
Tape it to my shoulder. But
that'd be a good tattoo, by the way. Just
right down the arm, right there. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Somebody's doing that right now. Somebody wrote that down on their hand.
Don't have to follow everything we say.
Yeah.
So it turns into a big thing. Announcement for the four-way. I think it's pretty good. Four-ways seem to lose some people sometimes, but the way that these four brawl, they're all big dudes. Any one of them could win.
The big dude match.
It is. It's a big deal. You thought the ring was going to break last time with Braun and Big Show. Tune into SummerSlam to see this one. This should be a really good match. Four guys who work their asses off, so we'll see. We had Finn Balor getting some revenge on Elias Sampson in a no DQ match. The week before, Finn got his bell rung by Sampson, hitting him in the head with the guitar. What did you think of Finn Balor versus Elias Sampson in this no DQ match?
Oh, it was a great match. I liked it, and still reeling from that hit that he took. Did he get stitches?
He did. I think he got some. Yep, he got sewn up in some way. I think the great thing about this whole thing that's kind of being swept under the rug is that now, Elias, yes, he didn't lose the match. He actually won the match because of interference from Bray Wyatt.
What?
So. So, in essence, he's gotten wins over Dean Ambrose, and now he's gotten wins over Finn Balor, and now Finn goes on to be with Bray, and now Elias can use those two wins to catapult him to the next guy. And no matter what happens, he can brag about that. He can use that in his promos. I beat this guy, I beat that guy.
And I heard he beat the Big Show and Twister backstage. It's like he's beating everybody. This guy, I actually like this character a lot.
Yeah,
who wants to walk with him?
I like him too.
Who wants to walk to the hospital?
Yep. But Bray Wyatt interrupts. Sister Abigail. Elias picks up the win. Follow the chickens.
Follow the chickens.
I don't feel like following buzzards.
You coined that, right?
I like chicken.
Right
I eat chicken.
Yeah,
go
right into
follow,
the bucket.
Follow Popeyes. But either way, so looks like we're gearing towards having the monster fight the Eater of Worlds at SummerSlam, which should be an interesting match. But again, this feud just came out of nowhere. Why did Bray last week start messing with Finn? Why? Like, he just came out of this thing with Rollins. Okay, I'm going to go to Finn now. It just no reason. Yes, would you like to see these guys wrestle? Sure, but make it like some kind of something. Like, he hired Samson to hit him with the guitar. I don't know anything.
That'd
just
be good.
something not to come out of nowhere.
If I were Finn, I would just flinch every time I saw a guitar, even if it wasn't,
Man, that thing, he got wild with that thing.
Don't touch. No, that just hurt.
Yeah.
But I do want to see that spider crawling. I like that upside down.
He did the full walk. Listen, it could be a good feud, the monster versus the Eater of Worlds, but make there a reason for it. Finn did something. Finn or they crossed paths or something. I mean, you can be creative.
They like different football teams.
Listen, that's caused plenty of fights. One's for Trump, one was for Hillary. I mean, whatever you want to do. Enzo Amore versus Big Cass. Again, Enzo comes out, another heartfelt promo, and again just gets his ass whooped. This time, Big Show comes in, eventually gets overtaken by Cass. Cass whoops his ass. What do you think? I mean, what are they doing with Enzo, Cass, Big Show? Are they
trying to kill him? Because there was that whole talk of some heat backstage with Enzo getting kicked off a bus. Maybe they're trying to really hurt him.
Well, we got some other news about Enzo that we'll talk about in our rumor mill afterwards. But this is a little scary, and it's not going to help his cause very much. But nonetheless, I was just even seeing that on a house show this past weekend. Cass beat Enzo in less than a minute, and that's at a house show. They didn't even give him any time. So obviously they're going towards Big Show and Cass, and who knows where this is going to leave Enzo. Who cares, really? I mean, at this point, they're not doing anything. Obviously, they don't like him. They're not going to do anything with him. They're not going to give him a push. They're not going to let him have his kind of revenge against Enzo. Against Big Cass. So what are they going to do? 205 Live, NXT. Definitely heard that some guys are going to be sent back down to NXT to kind of learn their craft a little more. Maybe he's one of them. I doubt it because he's so over with the crowd. Yeah. But either way, as we see here, Jaya Jax, not Nia. Jaya Jax.
That's Nia's cousin.
Gia Jax. She defeats Emma. Now, why is this happening? Last week, Emma didn't get on TV, and all the other girls did, and she complained about it on Twitter. Well, now they put you on TV to get your friggin' ass kicked by Nia Jax in a quick squash.
It was
nothing to speak about there. Again, Nia Jax left out of the title picture for SummerSlam as they have Bayley against Sasha Banks. And to me, I was a little surprised. The clean victory for Bayley beating Sasha Banks, becoming the number one contender for Alexa Bliss's title at SummerSlam. Now, do you think it'll stay the same, or do you think there will be a wrinkle where Nia Jax gets put into this match, or Sasha gets put in and then becomes a 17-way as usual?
Yeah, I was going to say, we've talked about it. You've mentioned how they seem to put all these superstar matches for the women together.
Yep.
It's not needed, but I agree. It could happen. Nia Jax and throw her in there. Although I feel bad for Emma. I like her character.
Me too. You know what? I think she's beautiful. Good. She's beautiful. She's one of the prettiest girls. Yeah, she's also a great wrestler. For some reason, I don't like her. I used to like her when she used to come out and she used to go like this, and it was like all bubbly and dun 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 dun.
Now she's like a mean cop.
It's like a mean cop thing, and I don't like the dark lipstick. I don't like the outfit. It's just not working for me.
At least it makes her. I like it in the sense that it makes her a little different, because maybe
different is good, yes, but she can be a good wrestler, and I don't know. It's some kind of character change. The Emelina thing obviously didn't work in any way.
But she should definitely stick with the Australian thing. She should just go full koala bear at this point and just just come down to the ring with some eucalyptus leaves. I don't know, something.
Yep. Jason Jordan has his debut on Raw, takes on Kurt Hawkins. Impressive display of human fortitude and
Ass kickery?
Animal instincts. Ass kickery, yeah. So he wins. He kicks the crap out of Kurt Hawkins. Looks pretty mean in doing it. Has a mean streak in him. What'd you think of Jordan's debut?
I like his finisher. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a neck breaker.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was.
It's nice. It's cool.
Yeah, it was a good finisher. I liked it.
I like it to finish.
It looked painful.
You look at the pain. Yeah, I mean, same thing. I've heard some rumors that maybe he's going to be fighting The Miz at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental belt. We'll get to those rumors and stuff like that. But obviously, a little push going on for Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
To see where they're gonna.
What if he had just gotten killed by Hawkins? After this whole
the whole thing had distracted him and he lost. I was, it's funny. I was almost thinking that for a second, like, oh, maybe he'll lose, like he'll get distracted, or maybe they'll make him a heel somehow. I don't know.
Or his father will be overbearing, and I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, I'm thinking they're either going to fight or they're going to tag team with each other. Yeah. So I mean, something will happen.
Mini angle.
Right. And the angle for the angles. The Revival was talking some smack. Gallows and Anderson came out to answer the bell. They had some fighting, and the Revival wins with the shitter machine.
The shitter machine. The shatter machine. That was my nickname in college, by the way.
The shitter machine?
No, shatter machine. Not because I was badass, but because I would crack under pressure. I would shatter under pressure.
You were nicknamed by your professors?
That's right. Every time I come up to
you are the professor.
I am the professor. Here comes the shatter machine.
Here he is.
Fall apart again.
Hey, everybody, look at the shatter guy. So the Revival wins with the shatter machine.
Nerds.
And then
I kind of like that. I'm starting to like the I almost called them Owens.
They're big
club.
terms of like
nerds. I love that.
They throw a ski at the end of everything. Hey, look at my computer ski, and they're the Good Brothers.
I like that whole thing.
I like it too. I just WWE is killing them as characters, though. They're making them lose to the Revival just on TV. And not that that's a bad thing, but that should be a pay-per-view match. I mean, save these matches for pay-per-view. The Hardys are going to be fighting these guys too. So I mean,
we need more jobbers.
We do. We need jobbers. Whatever. Ambrose and Rollins versus The Miz and The Miz Taraj. Ambrose and Rollins win by dirty deeds. Rollins goes to shake Ambrose's hand after the match. Yeah. Seth Rollins.
He left him hanging, though.
He left him hanging, which is, to me, the beginning of the heel turn.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get to the rumors, but probably not the last time we're going to see these guys tag with each other. So that was Raw. Are we missing anything of importance from Raw? Not that I can think of, but if we are, it must not have been that good.
I feel like Rollins should have stayed there, waiting, even after everybody went home and they turned off the lights on him. He's still waiting for that handshake.
He's still there tonight. Like they just transported the ring,
and his facial hair has grown, and he hasn't shaved.
So that was Raw. Getting to SmackDown, following up the brilliant pay-per-view Battleground. Kevin Owens jabber-jawing. Styles comes out, says he wants his rematch tonight, and what happens?
Oh my God!
Jericho comes out. The return of Y2J. Chris Jericho comes out with the list. His lighted scarf, everything going on. It's beautiful.
The scarf was lit. He was lit.
He was lit. The crowd was lit, and it was great. And they proclaimed that there's going to be a triple threat match for the United States Championship with Jericho involved, KO and AJ for the United States Championship at the end of the night. Shane sets that up, and you can see a little tension starting between Shane and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Why? Who knows? What could happen from that? Nonetheless, Shin Scrape Nakamura, as it says,
Shin Scrape,
defeated Baron Corbin now in a rematch from their match at Battleground. Corbin's on his knees, hits the Kinshasa to the back of the head, and then hits him with another one and pins him clean. What'd you think of Shitskane?
I thought it was awesome.
What did I just call him?
Shitskane.
Shitskane.
Shit. So Nakamura, he that was great. That was good payback, and he beat him clean, right?
So, he did, clean as a whistle.
I was a little surprised that it was clean, but I understand.
It doesn't do much damage to him. I mean, Corbin still got the briefcase. He'll be champion eventually. Yep.
He doesn't even pay for checks anymore. He just eats and he holds up the briefcase.
Excuse me, this is my ticket.
They're like,
it's like Apple Pay.
It's okay.
After Becky beat her clean last week, Charlotte and Becky teamed up against Tamina and Lana. Charlotte wins with a boot to the face of Lana, and it seemed to have a little friction between Tamina and Lana. Where are they going with all this?
I don't know. Tamina.
Tamina.
I don't know. She's got she's very what do you call it? She's threatening, but she's not great on the mic yet.
And they don't give her any wins. she should be a dominant woman who kicks people's asses, and she's just not doing that.
Like a Jaya Jax, like
Jaya Jax, exactly. So don't know what they're doing with Lana and Tamina, or Charlotte for that matter at this point, especially with Becky Lynch maybe doing her own thing, Natalya and Naomi doing their own thing. So we'll see. Jinder comes out, the Maharaja, and he demands to know who his SummerSlam opponent will be. And what happens? You get John Cena comes out, of course.
Cena
challenges Jinder, says he's the one to fight him. So what happens? Daniel Bryan comes out and says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Makes the match of the year for SmackDown with Shinsuke and John Cena fighting this week coming up to see who the number one contender would be. Now, obviously, the rumor was obviously Cena versus Jinder and AJ versus Shinsuke at SummerSlam. Poster came out this week, and looks like maybe it's not that way, or maybe there's a triple threat match. Either way, I also read an interview with AJ saying that he has told WWE that he wants them to tease a feud between him and Shinsuke, but he doesn't want the payoff to come until WrestleMania. He wants him at WrestleMania. So I don't know if they're going to do the match this early. I still think it's a mistake. I don't want them to fight at SummerSlam. I would love to see them go at WrestleMania too. But, I'm not the card maker, so it looks like Cena's going to be challenging Jinder, though. What are we thinking?
Unless they pull a swerve and Shinsuke wins or something, then it'd be Japan versus India. I don't know.
India. Yeah, I mean, you never know. I don't know what they're going to do. If they do have Cena... See, the plan seems to be that Cena is going to fight. Now that they're doing, Reigns and Lesnar in the four-way and stuff like that, it looks like they're going to take the belt off Brock and maybe give it to Reigns. And eventually it looks like what the plan now for WrestleMania is going to be, instead of Reigns versus Lesnar, is going to be Reigns versus Cena. They're already talking crap to each other on Twitter and stuff like that. And so we'll see what happens with that. Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger defeat Aiden English and Kanellis. What did you think about that one?
They should just all form a barbershop quartet, or something at that point. I mean, it was good actually. I like all these guys.
I do too.
I don't know Kanellis too much, but
yeah, I mean, he's a great wrestler.
Power of Love.
It's a good gimmick. I just they got to do something with it, and not have him lose. Yeah. Basically, so soon.
To dress up like Cupid and just have some
shoot people with arrows in their ass.
You know what I mean?
It's fine.
Absolutely.
I'm okay with that as well.
Animated hearts flying around.
Well, and then we had the main event, which was Styles, KO, and Jericho, and Styles wins the belt back.
Yeah. Talk about a flip-flop.
And how does he win the belt back? He uses a heel tactic. Jericho gets hit with, I believe he got hit with the pop-up powerbomb or something.
Was it a splash?
Well, it could have been the
pop-up splash
pop-up splash bomb.
Frog bomb, pop-up slash.
It could be that's what it was.
Splash
for sure.
Mountain.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Either way, KO hits a big move on Jericho, and then Styles throws him out of the ring and picks up the pin. Heel tactic.
It happens.
Nonetheless, KO demanding his rematch. We'll be getting it on this week's SmackDown. What did you think of AJ winning the belt yet again? Flip-flopping again these belts.
I don't know. It was cool because I didn't expect it, but because they had just flip-flopped, so I didn't expect another flip-flop.
Yep.
But now it's kind of like now it really makes me wonder if they're just going to flip-flop tonight.
They're going to flip-flop? Yeah.
Flip-flop?
Yeah, I think that at this point they're going to keep the belt where it is and probably have AJ go his way, whether it's against Shinsuke or somebody else, and then have Shane possibly fight KO at SummerSlam, which is where it looks like it may be going. What do you think about that, if that's the case?
That's interesting. I mean, Shane just survived like a crash, a helicopter crash. Now he
yeah, what the hell's Kevin Owens?
Yeah, nothing.
I agree with you. So that would be a cool match. And speaking of some of the possible matches, we talked about KO and Shane, which I think would be a good match. I think that would be really cool. I think they could do a good lead up as well. We talked a little bit about it before, but The Miz against Jason Jordan for the Intercontinental belt. to me, it just seems like if that's the angle that they're going to go, then it's a coronation for Jason Jordan. He'll win the belt, and then they'll take it from there after SummerSlam. What do you think of The Miz against Jordan?
I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting, but I don't know if Jordan won the belt so quickly. I'd rather see like this character develop, even though where can you go with him being Angle's son? I mean, there's still some things.
Well, that's the whole thing. You don't know, and there's only a few things to me right now that are really being booked well. The jury is still out on the Angle thing. The only thing that's really being booked well to me is the
catering. The backstage catering.
I wish I could tell you that I had some starving right now.
Those wings.
Madonna,
oh my God.
Is the title the Universal title picture with the 4-way going on? I think all those guys are being booked well. Elias Sampson, I think, is being booked well. Other than that, there's pretty much nobody. So take that as you may. Anyway, so some rumors going around right now, obviously, are also that Rollins and Ambrose will take on Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, to me, that has Brett and Owen against, I don't even remember who the damn thing was against. It was a Royal Rumble match, and
Matilda.
Brett and Owen teamed up, but there's always that one match where it's like, okay, this is going to be the match where these guys split. The Mega Powers, it happened against Akeem and the Big Boss Man. You knew it was coming, it was just a matter of time. So all these tag teams, and I have a feeling that that's going to be it. So it's going to be Cesaro and Sheamus against Rollins and Ambrose at SummerSlam. And something you would think that these two superstars, of course, they're going to beat Cesaro and Sheamus. Somehow or another, Cesaro and Sheamus win. Ambrose turns on Rollins at the end. Do you think that's feasible? What do you think?
Yeah, heel turn from Ambrose finally.
I think that's necessary, and I think that's the way they're going to go. If that's the booking, if they're going to be in it for the tag team championship, I think that's going to be the case.
The King Slapper.
The King Slapper. So, a couple MMA things to talk about really quickly. First, obviously, John Bones Jones beats Daniel Cormier over the weekend. Yes. And has a mic dropping moment where he calls out Brock Lesnar. Says,
pretty cool.
If you want to get your ass kicked by someone 40 pounds lighter, you know where to find me. And Lesnar responds with, be careful what you wish for. Is this fight going to happen?
It could. I mean, but not for a while, because I think Lesnar's still suspended for a while.
He is.
I think they both got popped for the same thing, whatever it was.
Well, either way, it definitely won't happen for a little while, but it seems like that's the direction. There's a lot of talk about Lesnar not re-signing with WWE, and if he's going to go back to fight, we talked about this last week with him being put back in the testing pool and then not being put in the testing pool, so we'll see where that goes. I think he should stick around. I mean, he's making easy money with WWE. How cool would it be to see him carry the Universal Championship into a UFC event? Like walk down, that would be pretty cool. But either way, we'll see if that happens. Another MMA newsworthy thing is CM Punk is already in talks now, I guess, for his second fight. No opponent named. Dana White said he didn't think that Punk's second fight should be with UFC. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, the guys that are in the UFC right now have just been training for, like, most of them, like, starting this new generation where they're training their whole lives just for this job, this sport. And, to come in like he did, I mean, I give him credit for wanting to do it and then, putting his mind to it and going in there and stepping in the octagon. But I don't know who they're going to throw against him where he could actually, win.
Well, the other thing, they got to think, if Punk loses, that's it, man. I mean, 2 fights, he got pretty much mauled his first fight, and
mauled by Gall.
Yeah, mauled. He got galled by Maul.
I was hoping that he would use that nickname, like Mickey the Maul Gall or some.
Or open up a Maul called the Gall Maul.
The gallbladder. I think that was the old joke.
Well, either way, it just obviously wouldn't be good for Punk if he loses again. But listen, kudos to the guy. I wish he would just come back to wrestling though.
Yeah. I mean, it still could happen because he's still sort of a draw where there's still going to be, even though he already lost, there's probably going to be less people out there that want to see it happen, but he's still, being an ex-WWE guy.
It's still a big draw, for sure. For sure. And, the only person that comes out of this, the man, is the guy that's going to fight him because it gives him notoriety. Yeah. It's probably going to be somebody that doesn't have a name, just like Mickey Gall. And we'll see what happens. And the third MMA mention is the fact that it looks more and more likely now that Chris Cyborg is going to take on Becky Lynch at SummerSlam. Now, Chris Cyborg just won the title the other night, didn't she?
Yeah, she did, actually.
So, she could... I mean, this could be a favor. Hey, WWE let Lesnar fight last year. Maybe UFC will let Cyborg do this match. What do you think if that comes to fruition and Becky Lynch takes on Chris Cyborg at SummerSlam?
Oh, she's not a robot, by the way. It's just a nickname. But, yeah, she's a tough lady. She's really scary and...
yeah.
Very, very scary. She's scarier than most of the men, the UFC.
She's intimidating for sure.
Very scared.
I wouldn't...
Tough.
I wouldn't go down the same way with her in an alley for sure.
Hopefully she'll have like good in-ring skills because it's a different skill set, and hopefully she doesn't physically hurt Becky Lynch, because that would be horrible. Yes.
So we'll see what happens with that. Now, really interesting story that came out of Nashville, Tennessee last week. So it seemed to be, I had seen on Twitter and Instagram that there was after WWE had Raw, I believe, in Nashville, GFW, TNA, whatever you want to call them, has their offices there. And some of the guys went out with some of the GFW guys. And they were at a bar, and it seems like Braun was at the bar, and Karen Jarrett, who is Jeff Jarrett's wife, also the ex-wife of Kurt Angle, went up to Braun and said something to him about her kid, Kurt's son, being like Braun's biggest fan. He's a big fan. She wanted to know if Braun would sign something, and Braun wouldn't do it. And they proceeded to get into a little argument, in which case Karen kind of revealed that she was Kurt Angle's ex-wife and that he wouldn't be happy to hear this, blah, 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 in which case Braun started begging her, like, to forgive him and he would sign whatever, and it was like a whole thing. So
was he not signing just because he was being a jerk?
Yeah, he was just sitting at the bar, I guess, not wanting to be bothered. But nonetheless, when he found out it was, Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle's, wife, then he kind of started singing a different tune, and so that's an interesting story. And he was begging for her not to tell Kurt Angle and all these
Braun
things.
Doesn't beg anybody. He's begging. That's crazy.
Begging. So we'll see. So also another story that was interesting that I've been reading was about Enzo Amore in Buffalo. So apparently he went to a strip club in Buffalo after a Raw event, and was inquiring about taking a lady home. I mean, it's a whole story where even he was just telling them that he'd like to watch, or he wants them to watch him, or either way, he was kind of bragging about the fact that he smokes a ton of weed and he won't get caught. This is what this woman is alleging. I mean, who knows what a reliable source she is, but that he was really rude, and that he was kind of really high on himself and acting like a fool. He was really cheap. He only spent $10 in the place, and was bragging about smoking weed and all these other things.
Maybe
so
that's why they don't like him backstage.
Well, I've heard that he's very comfortable in saying that, like, his real life is better than the life that he ever thought he could have, and that he lives in LA and he's living a really good life and he's having a lot of fun, but he's pissing a lot of people off, it seems like. So, and listen, I like the guy on camera. I don't know the guy for the life of me, but I enjoy the guy. I just hope that he can kind of wrangle himself in, so as not to completely sour his relationship and just
self-destruct,
go away.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they felt like breaking them up now, because maybe they just don't want him anymore. I don't really know. I mean, it still seems weird to me, but nonetheless, that's not a good thing to be associated with. So, maybe they're going to test him hardcore now, and he says, if they catch me smoking weed, and they're only going to charge me. They're only going to fine me $2,500, which I don't understand.
What?
Why would that be the case when everybody else kind of gets suspended? Even Roman Reigns. I mean, nobody is invisible. So
I thought they had a 3 strikes policy.
They do. And not only that, but when you first get, I think the first suspension's 30 days, second one is 60, and then I think the third one is termination. If I'm not mistaken. But either way,
they should check his mic. There's maybe something in it.
You're soft. You're stupid. The continuing battle with the Hardys and this broken gimmick. So, again, there seemed to have been an agreement reached, and then Jeff Jarrett went on a conference call and said that was not the case, and then the Hardys said that it was, but now it's not. So it seems like GFW, TNA, whatever you want to call them, Ed Nordhelm and Jeff Jarrett are basically saying that they tried to make a deal and the Hardys wanted more money, or Matt wanted $100,000 more. It doesn't look like this is going to be resolved nicely. However, it does seem that the people at TNA did go to the U.S. Patent Office and try to file for 4 different trademarks and got denied on all 4 of them. So, at this point, it's just maybe one of those things where they're grasping at straws and it's just not going to work out in their favor, and they don't really have anything else to do. What do you think about the Hardys?
I feel at this point the actual Hardy Boys, the mystery duo, is going to start suing the Hardy. I don't know. It's
getting to a point of ridiculousness now.
Well, let them have it.
It's a friggin' gimmick. I mean, it's really
gotta make small children happy with this gimmick.
It doesn't make them look good either. I mean, no. It really doesn't. It's their creation. Who cares who created the character? Without the guy that's doing the character's nothing.
Yeah.
So it's just like when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left WWE and they went to WCW. WWE had a fake Diesel and a fake Razor Ramon, but people laughed at it and they were like, "All right, it's funny at first, and it's really stupid." A, and then B, it didn't really affect Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and the other wrestling. So, I mean, the Hardys are going to be popular no matter what, but it's good for wrestling if everybody is involved. Because then what happens? They become huge in WWE. Then what? TNA can sell their merchandise that they had, or they could sell the videos that they had of all the stuff with Matt and Jeff. Just like right now they're doing like a best of AJ Styles thing. They post up all these videos of Samoa Joe and all these guys who are in WWE now because they're popular, and it's pretty sickening. I can't stand GFW. I don't think it's a good product of wrestling. Some of the guys that they have are good, but the storytelling and the writing is just shit. It's terrible, and the production is terrible. Not a fan.
At this point, they should just let the Hardy Boys have the broken characters, and then once they become big, not just make money off of merchandising, but they can brag that they came up with the idea. It's something. Just brag about it.
What? They have nothing. They're really just kind of in a spot where they know they can't compete, and this is something that they can hold over. And I think they're doing it out of spite. They're dragging it out just because they want to do that to them. And listen, whatever, it is what it is. They're just kind of depriving the rest of the wrestling community of something that could be great. So, whatever, we'll see how that goes. John Cena, this is going to be something that hits close home to you. John Cena is landing the lead role in the Bumblebee spin-off Transformers movie. What do you think of that?
Oh, the search for more honey. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be called. Just the Bumblebee.
Starring John Cena and Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella as Optimus Prime.
I was going to say Bumblebee, but that's even better. Optimus Prime. Optimus Bella. Hey,
Tits Prime.
Good for Cena.
Listen.
That's a pretty big thing. But the unfortunate thing is that I think that this last one that just came out, was it the last night or something?
Yeah,
it actually was the first Transformers movie not to really perform as well.
Was Shia LaBeouf in it?
No, he wasn't.
Well, that's why.
Maybe
Clearly.
You need the Boof back.
We need the Boof.
The Boof. But John Cena and talking robots?
It sounds like it's a straight-to-DVD release to me. I don't know about you. Anything with The Miz, John Cena, or any WWE
this
studios.
This Marine series has gone really weird.
The Marine,
The Marine,
what are they on, number 14 now? And The Miz has been in the last 7. I think they've had Dean Ambrose. I think they've had Randy Orton, Cena, and The Miz be the Marine. And I think Ted DiBiase Jr. was in one of the Marine. He was in one of the movies. I don't know. Either way, where's Dolph Ziggler? Just get Ziggler back. What are they doing? I mean, come on with these guys. They split these shows up and they're doing these 5-match pay-per-views that they could do like 7-8 matches and really have these guys shine and gives them some stories, man. I'm getting really, really tired of the same crap and all these feuds that are just kind of thrown together without anything being invested in them. Like, you look at old school feuds and they take time to build, and there was a reason that these feuds started, and there was a build up, and then a payoff. There's a payoff every week now. You're seeing the same. Like tonight on Raw, you're going to see, or whenever you're watching this, could be last night. So whatever the case is, the match may have happened, but it's supposed to be a triple threat match. You're going to see Braun versus Joe versus Reigns. it's 3 out of the 4 guys that are in the main event at the pay-per-view. So why are you giving that away? Why are you doing Cena versus... I understand you want people to watch. Why are you doing Cena versus Shinsuke? That's a WrestleMania caliber match.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
I know.
Like, you can build up. I mean, you're giving away a match without any build, without anything, and most likely you're going to make Shinsuke lose to Cena.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, why are you doing this? Like, don't even have that match. Like, okay, because now the Rusev is done with Cena, so Cena automatically becomes the next guy in line for the title. Why? He had one match. He's been gone for months. He came in. Why is he even up for it? There's no continuity. It's just kind of thrown together, and I'm just so sick of that stuff, man. Make people invested in every single feud. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like, something as stupid as the model Rick Martel spraying arrogance in Jake the Snake's face. Built it out for months, and then what'd they do? They had a blindfold match. I'm not saying I want to see a blindfold match. What I'm saying is they took guys on the undercard and the mid-card, and they gave you stories that made you want to see them fight each other. Made you want to see Jake the Snake kick his ass. You know, I was watching an old SummerSlam, I think, the other day, and it was... Bret Hart against Mr. Perfect. You know, built it up. Bret Hart had never been a singles champ. You know, Mr. Perfect they're kind of similar in styles. Like, the whole thing built leading up, and then they have their match. Like, there's lead ups. There's reason that when they finally get a hold, maybe it's too much TV. It's too much pay-per-view. There's a pay-per-view every month, sometimes 2 in a month. There's television every week where these guys are interacting every week. You didn't see that back in the day. I don't know how many times I can stress this, but it's just too saturated with the same guys in the same ring at the same time, whether they're wrestling, jawing at each other. You know, they used to have these segments, like, you know, they still do things now, but it's like the Miz TV every week, or it's like the same things. They used to have the barber shop, or they used to have the Heartbreak Hotel, the funeral parlor. They used to have different things set up. The Snake Pit, you know, Piper's Pit. You know, they used to have these different shows, and they would only be there to further feuds or to start feuds and to get things going. Have people interact without being in a wrestling match. You know, I can remember when Hulk Hogan was feuding with The Undertaker. He was also feuding with, like, Ric Flair, and they had, like, an altercation there. The Undertaker, the Ultimate Warrior got locked in a casket. And just different segments. Marty Jannetty getting thrown through the barbershop window. Okay, that's the way to split up a tag team.
Yeah.
But after a long period of time, like, the storytelling was there. There's no storytelling now, and you know what? People get mad at that, and it's fine. And people have their fan favorites. I'm not a fan of a lot of these guys, and it's really not their fault. It's the writing's fault. If Dean Ambrose becomes a heel and just kicks people's asses and just shuts his mouth, I'll be a fan of his. I think his work is good. It's just the gimmick and the storylines and everything else that they got going on. So who knows? What else we got going on over? So.
Sure.
Ric Flair was thrown out of a bar for calling a bartender a fat ass. That's a story we will tell every week. Every week, because it's just that great. He called the bartender a fat ass and got thrown out. Just the fact that he called him a fat ass is like calling somebody a dickweed or something like you never hear anymore. Hey, fat ass. It's like in Vacation with Chevy Chase calling John Candy. He goes, "You listen to me, fat ass."
And the second he got outside, he did the dead drop.
That's it.
right.
Now, here's some important news. You know, there's a, I believe he was a bass player for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and also, oh God, I'm going to butcher this. My friend Rob will kill me if I forget exactly what band the guy played for. Jeez, let's look it up here. He was with Adrenaline Mob, that's it. Adrenaline Mob and the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, David Z. was in a tragic accident and died, so I guess last night they had some kind of a tribute to him. And Chris Jericho was there, and he was approached outside by a fan who asked him, or rather said to him, that he was a big fan of his and that he was happy to see him on SmackDown this past week. And Jericho, I think, the response was "F your ass," you know, like something like that. And they got into a verbal altercation, and it ended up dropping a bunch of F-bombs. It was captured by TMZ. Jericho apologized today, but was pretty much saying that the fan was rude, but he was in a bad state. His friend died, and he was just eulogizing him. What did you think of the altercation?
Yeah, I mean, now that I hear the end of it, and he apologized, but when I first heard about it and I saw some of the footage, I was definitely on the fan side.
Yep.
Because he didn't come at Jericho like a jerk. He came at him like a fan, and was just happy to see him.
And there's a few altercations where Jericho's kind of lost his cool. And then I'm not... Listen, the guy... Me being a peon that would love fame and fortune and all that kind of stuff, it's different than a guy who's been living it for years and years and probably gets approached daily by thousands of people, and it's just like, okay, But, I don't know if I would react differently. I'd like to think I would. If somebody was praising me, I don't think I'd go tell him to F himself. But
even if you're in a bad mood. It's
right. I mean, I don't know if that's called for. But, so, some people definitely feel entitled that if they see a celebrity or something, they have to talk to him, and that if the guy is not on their level, then it's, or the level that they expect him to be on, then it's a big disappointment. Me, I kind of tend to, if the story is out the way that it's said, that the guy was just congratulating him on being back on SmackDown, happy to see him, then I think Jericho's out of line.
Yeah.
If the guy was getting too touchy, too personal, or wouldn't leave him alone.
He's touching his face.
Go
to hell, man.
We'll see. But, Jericho, you know what happens when you treat the WWE Universe like crap? Do you know what happens when you tell a fan to go F his ass? Do you know what happens when you're nasty to a fan just because you're in a bad mood? Do you know what happens? You just made the list!
The invisible list.
What happened to the list? Oh my lord, look at that. Ooh, I assure you there's a list here. Now you see it? If I put it in front... Look at that. Whoa. You can see it's the list of Ripps.
I'm going to put your name on a Post-it, because that's all I got. I don't have a list.
Well, that's good enough. Post-it works.
How do you spell Chris?
How do you spell CJ? People have asked me that. Honestly, how do you spell CJ?
Is it a C-E-J-A-Y?
S-E-A-J-A-Y. That's how you spell it.
J.
So we've got some things to look forward to. Some stings.
Stings.
We got some things to look forward to.
The Bumblebee movie is full of stings. Hey, look at that.
Look at that lead-in.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to seeing where Elias Sampson goes on Raw. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan. Everything else, I'm looking forward to seeing the development with the Universal Championship match. We're going to see a triple threat on Raw. We're going to see a main event caliber match at SmackDown, pay-per-view main event caliber match on SmackDown, as well as we'll also be getting the rematch between AJ and KO. So it should be a stacked SmackDown.
Stacked Smack.
It should be a stacked now.
Stacked.
Got the whole town on lockdown. It should be a pretty stacked week of wrestling. Do you have anything for us, Professor, before we leave?
I definitely want to see Elias Sampson. I think he's probably the most interesting thing going right now. I just like the character.
Yep.
And the whole "Who wants to walk with Elias?" You should just start saying, "Who wants to rub Elias's feet?" You know what I mean? Just
who wants to grease my beard?
But I'm looking forward to that. And just a little thought. I like the coup de grace. That's one of my favorite moves right now.
Mm-hmm.
But why didn't Finn Balor just call it the Finn-isher?
The Finn-isher?
The Finn-isher. I mean,
there. You know what?
That's a good thought, man.
That's right, man.
We should, why are we not hired by these guys? We should
Maybe
be working
they saw
in the
criminal
office.
records that they.
That's true. They could have. You mean they looked at our background?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, screw them then. We'll just continue to rag on them on our multinational popular show that we're doing here. All of our fan in the United States and all of our fans in India. Assalamu alaikum. That's not Indian, but I don't know any Indian. Anyway,
Curry.
another good week here. Yes, another good week here for the champs. We're looking forward to seeing what happens, the build up to SummerSlam, so stay tuned. We shall be back next week, or tomorrow, whenever we feel like it, but most likely next week. I have to have my colon cleansed. But anyway.
Mine's cleansed right now.
Ooh, is that what that smell is? Jesus Christ.
Oh, can we add in some Wolverine claws with special effects? No?
We probably could. Nooch, get on that.
No. I'm the Chuverine.
The Chuverine.
The Chuverine.
Chuverine. I don't know what I am.
The Ripper.
Yeah.
Ripper. Kelly Ripper.
The Fats. Kelly Ripper?
Kelly Ripper.
All right, the champs are out of here. So, for Dr. Ripps.
Was it? Oh, wait, I'm going to leave you hanging like Seth Rollins.
Whoa.
See you later.
Not good.
I'm walking.
For the professor, I'm Dr. Ripps. Thanks for joining us again. We'll see you next time. Ding, ding.